Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief presented by Annapolis Subaru and the SPCA of Arundel County. Yeah, baby. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. It is the start of the Annapolis Film Festival, and if anybody needs me between tonight at 5 p.m. and Sunday at about 10 p.m., you are SOL because I will be at the movies. Anyhow, we do have some news, so shall we? An absolutely terrifying and horrible story out of Baltimore County. Yesterday afternoon, for some unknown reason, a car entered an active work zone on the Beltway near Security Boulevard, striking and killing 6 construction workers. The car ultimately rolled over and the driver was transported to shock trauma. The Maryland State Police have just begun the investigation or are in the process of notifying the next of kin and trying to figure out what happened. While not in Anne Arundel County, when we know more, we will let you know. And right now, it's certainly a good time to remind everybody to please slow down and pay attention in construction zones and pull to the left when you see a disabled vehicle or any other emergency or service vehicle on the side of the road. Back on February 25th, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to a shed on fire behind a closed Checkers restaurant on Mountain Road in Pasadena. When they arrived, they saw a male adding items to the fire before fleeing. Police located the suspect, who was positively identified by the 911 caller who witnessed him starting the fire. The 39-year-old man with no fixed address was arrested and charged that night. Now, on March 20th, a grand jury returned an indictment on him, charging him with second-degree arson, malicious burning, and reckless endangerment. No trial date has been set, and he is being represented by a public defender. The Annapolis Police have launched a dashboard about gun violence. It's a pretty decent dashboard showing calls for shots fired, shootings, and homicide by gunfire by year. It has all the data back to 2015, and to be honest, it's pretty alarming. It doesn't have other types of violent crimes such as rapes, stabbings, and several axe attacks that we saw last year. You can see it at the department's website. You want to go to annapolis.gov and then click on City Departments link. And then you want to click on the police link. And then once you're on that page, there is a link that takes you to a page which says you're leaving the site and takes you ultimately to the dashboard. The City of Annapolis is in a bit of trouble with the Maryland Department of Environment. A resident reported a white powdery substance and a sewage smell at Hawkins Cove off of Spa Creek back in February. The city responded and told the resident it was just a fire extinguisher that had been discharged in the area. The Department of the Environment also got a complaint, and they went out to the site on March 13th and discovered, it was not a fire extinguisher, but there was a 1,000-gallon raw sewage leak into Spa Creek, and the white powder was actually lime used to disinfect the area and not a discharge from a fire extinguisher. The MDE issued a report and potentially can fine the city for failing to report the sewage spill, as the law requires reporting within 5 days. What I find very interesting is that the city erected no swimming signs, so they knew it was a sewage issue, or at least some sort of an issue. Yet they told the resident that reported it initially it was nothing to worry about, it was just a fire extinguisher. County Executive Pittman is helping out the agriculture community. Down in Lothian, Purdue operated a grain elevator for many years. It became unprofitable and they moved to shut it down, which would directly impact the farmers' livelihoods. Through partnerships and some political pressure, Purdue kept it running for a year, and the county has now agreed to purchase it and operate it. The cost is $1.25 million. It is in the budget, and the deal will close after an appraisal, an environmental assessment, and county council approval. Hey, if you were in college and paused your education during COVID because, face it, going to school in that mess really sucked, the Maryland Higher Education Commission has a lot of ARPA money available to help you get back on track and finish up. You need to be eligible for in-state tuition, earned at least 45 hours at a community college or 90 in a four-year school, and be a Maryland resident. You want to go to mhec.maryland.gov to get started, and that's mhec.maryland.gov. And if you're not at the film festival this weekend and have some kids at home, this is pretty cool. Historic Annapolis hosts these storytime events in the Paca Gardens. This week they're reading a book called May Among the Stars, which explores the importance of encouraging children's dreams, and it's about the first African-American woman to travel in space. Annapolis.org is where you want to go to get some tickets. It is $10 per child. It does include the reading, some songs, a craft project, and plenty of time to explore the gardens. Gets underway at about 10 a.m., and it is geared to that whole 3 to 7 crowd, so I'm a little bit too old for that. Pretty awesome if you ask me, though. All right, that's all I got news-wise. Podcast stuff. Up this weekend on the Local Business Spotlight, we're going to hear from Ray Lynn at Natural Benefits in West Annapolis. Next week, it is the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club. And as I mentioned earlier this week, you want to check out all those bonus pods we dropped with the directors of some of the films at the Annapolis Film Festival. If you need tickets, you can buy individual ones at annapolisfilmfestival.org. And that is a wrap. As always, thank you for being you, and a thank you to our sponsors for the Daily News Brief: Annapolis Subaru, the SPCA of Anne Arundel County, Solar Energy Services, the Hospice of the Chesapeake, and the Maryland Higher Education Commission. So now you just need to hang tight because we have George Young from DCMDVA Weather with the only locally forecast weather report you will find. And of course, Trevor is here with your Annapolis Makerspace Maker Minute. All that coming up in just a bit.
Coping with advanced illness can be overwhelming, and determining the best options for a loved one isn't always so easy. But here at Hospice of the Chesapeake, your hometown hospice, we want you to know you do have a choice. You can choose exactly who provides the care and the type of care you receive, and it's your decision when and where your loved one receives that care. We have served our community, family, and friends for over 40 years. We are there when you need us. Learn how we can help at hospicechesapeake.org.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be, so you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Thursday, March 23rd. Pretty nice day yesterday for the Annapolis region, and while it will be warmer out today, rain chances will be up, and they'll stay up through Saturday before skies then clear out to close out the weekend. Look for breezy highs today in the 70s across all of Anne Arundel County, with a chance for some rain showers, ahead of a really good chance for rain both Friday and Saturday, with highs each day in the 60 to 65 degree range before skies then clear Sunday, with highs again around 60 to 65. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there today. Stay healthy and be safe. Don't forget, follow DCMDVA Weather on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, along with the website at dcmdvaweather.info, so you can always stay weather informed.
Did you get close to completing your college degree but dropped out during the COVID pandemic? Well, as a near completer, you may be eligible to receive money from the Maryland Higher Education Commission to finish your degree. Again, if you started your degree but for whatever reason never finished it, the Maryland Higher Education Commission has money to help you return to college and finish what you started. Go to mhec.maryland.gov and click on the Near Completer grant to learn more.
Every week, makers, crafters, and educators hold events all over the area. Highlighting some of those, here's our Maker Minutes, brought to you by Annapolis Makerspace.
Hey, this is Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes. Today through Sunday, be sure to check out the Annapolis Film Festival, happening at a few locations around town. There's full-length films as well as shorts, and some world premieres. On Saturday, check out the Davidsonville Green Expo, hosted by Homestead Gardens, down in Davidsonville, to talk about all things green. At Wolf on the Wharf in Edgewater, on Saturday, they're having an acrylic pour paint class at Knits and Pieces off of Bestgate Road. On Sunday, check out Diggin' the Double Knitting. And then on Monday, there's a Spring Charm Set class, and registration is open for their Learn to Knit April sessions, a techniques class in continental knitting, crocheting a baby blanket, knitting socks, as well as knitting toys. At Whole Foods in Annapolis, today, their Half Pint Kids Club is doing fruit and cracker flowers with an 11 a.m. session as well as a 1 p.m. session. On Saturday, check out Kids in the Kitchen. with Pancakes in Pajamas. And then on Tuesday, their Half Pint Kids Club is doing rice cake desserts. And this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, check out Local by Design's monthly Annapolis Artisans Market at their shop off of Chickapin Round Road. It's a great chance to meet the artists, check out their studios, and buy some nice gifts. At Art Farm in Annapolis, registration is open for their spring and summer camps, and on Sunday, check out their Vibe Flow and Chill Yoga, as well as a needle felting class, creating small animal sculptures using a barbed needle and colorful fibers. Then on Wednesday, their virtual botanical drawing part 2 class concludes, and continuing this week, on Saturday there's experimental art for ages 9 through 12, as well as kids art school for ages 6 through 8. Monday there's intro to short story writing for ages 12 through 16, as well as the kids art school evening session. On Tuesday there's cartooning for ages 9 through 12, and then on Wednesday there's mixed media for introverts for ages 9 through 12, as well as beat making for ages 8 through 12. And registration is open for more kids art spring and summer classes, such as composition, drawing, watercolor, and more experimental art. At the Arundel County Public Library System this week, today Linthicum has Build and Play with Lego, Glen Burnie has Glen Burnie Creates making a Hobbit wreath, and Odenton has a paint night. Tomorrow, Discoveries, the library at the mall, has a pre-K art party, and Severn has Sit and Stitch. On Saturday, Discoveries is doing Women in STEM with hands-on experiments based on their work. Monday, Odenton is doing a Creation Station Pride Palooza, making your own pride flags, stickers, buttons, and more. On Tuesday, Severna Park is doing Stitchin' in the Stacks, Severn is doing alcohol ink tile art, and Maryland City has paint and puzzle pieces. And then on Wednesday, the Severn Library is doing a Despicable Me movie and craft night, Rivera Beach is doing Build a Bug Hotel, and Deal has a crafternoon with Going Green. At Unallocated Space in Severn, tonight they have a virtual happy hour. Tomorrow they're doing another DEF CON 443 cybersecurity meetup. Saturday is Mini Maker Mayhem, building and painting gaming miniatures and models. Monday is their project night, and Wednesday is their open house night. At the Patuxent Lapidary Guild this week, on Sunday check out Casting 101 with basic lost wax casting. And at Annapolis Makerspace this week, Tuesday is their monthly general meeting, which is a great chance to stop by and check out the shop and meet some of our members. If you have any questions about the Annapolis Makerspace, the Maker Minutes, or any of these events, feel free to contact me at trevor@makeannapolis.org. And you can find links to all of these events at the Annapolis Makerspace website, also at makeannapolis.org. And whether you're making art, software, sawdust, or just a mess, chances are you're already a maker. This has been Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minute.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.